V Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered-down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. V Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore vprivatebar.com and leave the mixing.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The biggest sports stories of the week.
I think that is the attitude you should have. But if the first thing you bring up when you look at the standings is Craig Counsell, then he has real estate in your head.
I don't think you can even argue.
No argument.
The Green Bay Packers
argument
were
the way it ended. But like I just said it, like they were 7-8 last year against everyone besides the Bears, right?
Unique and compelling analysis and opinions when it comes to your favorite teams.
As much as they want, because both teams are good and that game to be those two.
Kyle, you're not feeling this.
Jason knows I'm not feeling that.
Kyle and I have already had this argument.
Yeah.
You hate that I feel.
What else was on the WB back then? What else did I miss?
You probably saw the Wayans brothers, right?
Yeah.
The Jamie Foxx show. Come on now, Craig. Come on, Craig. You know the Jamie Foxx show?
No.
You know
This is Sunday Karma, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Here's GKB founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
What is this, an old school version of Sunday Karma? Kyle Wallace, Craig Karmazin, no Scalzo, no Strophe. Does that mean no 7-Eleven mystery guest? Like, do you go to mystery guest alone, or do we go, or did I give you like 7 things to guess at?
No, I was thinking mentally today as I was getting ready for my day. I said, all right, well, I just got to think of 7 questions I can ask. I was thinking, who could Craig potentially grab today?
Okay, so you're looking for me. By the way, just thinking about that, I did bring the old burner phone, my old phone.
What do you mean burner phone?
So when my current phone transferred, a lot of my old numbers didn't come through. So the numbers I've been working off of are more of a new list rather than like my full Rolodex. So I decided to bring the full Rolodex because I have not thought about a guest for 11 o'clock today at this point. So,
oh, wow.
But we do have a few commercial breaks where I'll have the opportunity to see who we could pull for today.
I like that. You have such a Rolodex that you can just go through and call famous people and they'll just, you say jump, they say how high.
That doesn't happen, so that's why we'll see if we actually have someone. That's why you need to be listening 58 minutes from now to see what we could pull.
You've had some big ones, Craig. Big ones.
We have, but we've been saving some good ones. We look a lot of different options here.
NFL Draft Week. Maybe give me Roger Goodell. I know he's in the phone. Got him on speed dial.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
All right.
Like that.
Well, let's address the thing that's staring you right in the face, right? And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about right over my head. If you're watching on YouTube, you could see our man Bango right there, right? He's right there. If I was taller, you wouldn't. Maybe if I just was like standing up straight.
No, there's not. Your frame is too slender to be able to block out big old Bango. Yeah, you're not Craig. You gotta eat a little bit more.
Right got it now?
We can still see Bango, Craig. We can still see Bango on YouTube. ESPN Walking on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, I received a text yesterday with a tweet someone forwarded to me, and it was a picture of David Gruber. And it said, if you've watched this first half, you may be entitled to compensation.
Oh, wow. It was rough. It was rough.
It was 67-43 at the half. The Indiana Pacers just absolutely mauled the Milwaukee Bucks in the first half. And the Bucks made it close. And there were some positives that you could pull from what the Bucks did in the second half, but it was not pretty, right? It was not what anyone would have wanted to see in game one for the Bucks. Can I tell you about another game one between these two teams?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Last year, first game of the series, Bucks 69, Pacers 42. Do you know what that was?
Was that game 2?
That was game 1.
Game 1. We went up 1-0 last year?
Game 1, Bucks 69, Pacers 42. And do you know how many points the Bucks won that game by?
What, 18?
15 points.
15.
It was a very similar game. Damian Lillard had 35 points, not in the game last year. Damian Lillard.
In the second half. Oh, first half.
First half.
He went crazy.
He actually did have 35 in the full game, but he had all 35 of his points in the first half of that game. They came out and just ran the Pacers off the court in game 1 at home, and we saw the Pacers pretty much do this same exact thing to the Milwaukee Bucks. Does anyone recall, Kyle, might you recall what happened in the rest of that series?
Yeah, I do. Dame hurt us something, and Pacers went off. They went crazy, and they beat us in 6.
Yes. So it ended up being, without Giannis, Pacers in 6. This is a different version of the Pacers. It's obviously a different version of the Bucks. The best player in that series for the Milwaukee Bucks is Chris Middleton. He is no longer here.
Ooh,
and so you need to recognize that. The best player for the Milwaukee Bucks this year will be Giannis Antetokounmpo. He is here. He was not here last year.
I have so many questions.
The Pacers last year were much a little faster team than they are today. They're a little better defensive team this year. Tyrese Halliburton is actually playing better in the second half of the year this year as opposed to the first half of the year last year. And Halliburton didn't necessarily shoot well yesterday, but we saw what a great floor leader he is, and 12 assists, 1 turnover for him yesterday. That almost happens without being noticed, right? Like, did you even really notice Tyrese Halliburton in that game?
When he was jaw-jacking at the end. I'm so sick of him.
Yeah, he was 0 of 7 from three-point range. He was 3 of 13 from the field.
He had 12 assists.
But he had 12 assists, 1 turnover, 7 rebounds, played a nice floor game. Oh, and by the way, in his 34 minutes on the court, he was plus 27.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know somebody else who was minus 24.
So that's how, how it looks when you have a good floor game. I know everyone's trying to pick on Kyle Kuzma, which you already are.
I mean,
we'll go right to that.
Listen, that was rough. I mean, it's one game, but boy, oh boy, he hasn't been in sync at all. I was so
wait. But did you watch the game or were you on the boat?
No,
I know usually you're on the boat during big playoff games. So Kyle, we know you're usually watching 1 or 2 highlights.
Oh, I'm on the boat. I was watching that Bucks game from off the river, but no.
You were on the boat or you weren't on the boat?
Craig, it was not warm enough for the boat yesterday. It's still April. But, yeah, I watched the game yesterday.
Okay, so how long into the game was it before you realized that Kyle Kuzma was on the Bucks?
I mean, I realized it early on because I said, dang, Kyle Kuzma is absent right now.
No, but he hadn't, exactly. But
he
not
barely touched the ball.
He hadn't touched the ball. He had not had a touch of the ball.
And then he started shooting and missing. I knew it was
well, he didn't. Game. I mean, you're saying then he started shooting and missing.
He missed a 3, then he missed like another easy shot, and then I remember the second half he missed the easy floater.
Yeah, in the second half he missed that easy floater. You could tell he never got in the flow of the game, right?
Craig, let's be honest. Listen, I'm not gonna bring the whole Chris Middleton have. Clearly, Chris Middleton's a different player. Who knows how healthy he would have been? But at the end of the day, the thing that is worrisome is that he has not been able to find his rhythm at all since he got traded to the Bucks. He hasn't. It just seems like he hasn't been comfortable with the Bucks. He's still trying to figure out how to be a role player, and that's just been something where I would hope that he would have been. We lost yesterday because he didn't score any points.
No. Think
about it, Craig. If he scores, 12 or 14 points, it's probably a different outcome in this game. He makes some shots, he contributes, but I mean, he contributed nothing yesterday.
It's no coincidence that he and Taurean Prince both were not part of the offense.
He's another one. He was absent.
Right. But you're talking about people being absent. They can't be absent if they're not getting the ball in rhythm at the right time. The first team did not move the ball. They did not play well offensively.
A lot of Giannis. Brooke Lopez chucking up a 3-pointer.
It was Ryan Rollins who got
bucket.
He got 8 shots in 19 minutes. Okay,
And like 3 of those came in the first quarter, didn't they? 4?
Right? Yeah, 8 shots in 19 minutes for Ryan Rollins, as opposed to in 42 combined minutes, 6 shots for Prince and Kuzma. So you think about that distribution.
Oh, Prince didn't take
interesting.
no shots then. What, he took 2?
1 shot for Torian Prince.
I'm gonna say, boy.
Was until the second half. But it's not like Torian Prince was passing up good in rhythm shots. What we saw yesterday was the second team was better than the first team. And we've seen that second team with Giannis play really well. But that second team actually played well even without Giannis. Like, there was a moment yesterday where they had 5 guys. They played a full second unit.
Yeah, late in the third quarter.
Yeah,
They actually came back, or was it early fourth quarter they came back?
They played it multiple times, and that was actually, with now that Jericho Sims is back, they played a full. They hadn't done that really all year. Jericho Sims, Bobby Portis, with Kevin Porter Jr., Sakuda as his preferred name, Gary Trent, and AJ Green. That 5. They actually moved the ball, that 5. Gary Trent was hot from the beginning. He had his first 3 field goals. But you saw them move the ball. And the key stat for me in that whole game, everyone was talking about how many Kyle Kuzma and Torian Prince and all that. What's been the key to the Bucks, this version of the Bucks, without Damian Lillard?
Well, for the Milwaukee Bucks, it seems like they run through Giannis. Everybody's been making shots and moving the ball.
There you go.
Playing
Do you know who's the best 3-point shooting team in the entire NBA?
Where the Bucks?
Percentage-wise, yes.
Wow.
The Milwaukee Bucks, best 3-point shooting team in the entire NBA.
Couldn't have guessed it based off yesterday. You would have thought it was the reverse.
When you have guys like Torian Prince, Gary Trent Jr., and AJ Green shooting the way that they were able to shoot, along with the fact that Giannis, as a high efficient player, has gone away from shooting threes. This is the number 1 3-point shooting team in the NBA. And without Damian Lillard, what we saw down the stretch of this season was Giannis night in, night out as a double-digit assist guy, right? We saw Giannis as point center at times, as point forward at times.
We didn't see that yesterday because guys didn't hit no shots, huh?
How many assists did Giannis have yesterday?
I would say less than 7, 6.
Keep going.
4.
Keep going.
You a lie. 3.
Keep going.
2.
Keep going.
He didn't have 0, Craig.
Giannis had 1 assist.
1 assist yesterday?
So you think about the way the Bucks have been playing over this stretch where it seemed like they found their groove again. Giannis, let's go through his assists in the month of April. 11, 20, 10, 10, 5, and 15. And the 5 was against the Pelicans where, they weren't really playing.
Right.
He had double-digit assists in every game, and now he had 1 assist yesterday.
And this is why I'm not panicking, is there's a couple things. We all know, you've been watching basketball enough. Anybody that's watched basketball for at least 10 years of their life, they understand how hard it is for your other guys, right? Your superstars, they'll show up, but the other guys like the Kyle Kuzmas, the Torian Prince, the AJ Greens, the Gary Trent, to be able to perform at a high level on the road. Typically, those guys
on the road in the playoffs is tough, right?
On the road, and that's exactly what you ended up seeing yesterday. Though you saw a good game out of AJ Green, knocking down shots when the Milwaukee Bucks were behind, but that is why it's so hard to win on the road. And so yesterday, the Bucks got smacked, right? They absolutely got smacked. Giannis only had 1 assist, as you said, Craig, because the team and cast around him weren't obviously knocking down shots when they had him. But I think they just did.
But you're saying
not a good job.
You're saying not knocking down the shots. They didn't have the shots.
Well, listen. All I'm gonna say is this: is that I'm not too concerned because it's only 1 game, and the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna be okay. I'm not sitting here saying we need to have Dame. We need to have Dame. I think the Milwaukee Bucks are gonna be a-okay. The Pacers started off a little shaky early in the first quarter. Then they knocked down some open shots, and they were able to build a lead. The Milwaukee Bucks weren't able to score, and that's what happens. And it's 1 game out of a best of 7. Bucks in 6, you're going to have to lose some, baby. So I ain't worried about that. It's still Bucks in 6.
And that is one of the benefits, as weird as it sounds, to starting on the road. You're expected to lose game 1, right? So if you split on the road, which they still have the opportunity to do.
Which I believe they can.
Then they are in the driver's seat. It's a long break, the Bucks are home. The Bucks aren't staying in Indiana. The Bucks are home right now.
When's the next game? Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday. Yeah.
So they flew back. Yeah,
it's less than an hour flight, right? So they're back. They're able to practice. They're able to get refocused. They're ready to go. The interesting thing is, will Dame play game 2 or game 3?
I think game 3 for sure.
Yeah. And so whether he plays game 2 or game 3, reintegrating into this team, into this offense is normally difficult. I look at Dame, though. I mean, he's a top 75 of all-time player.
I don't know why Tyrese did that. Don't awaken a sleeping giant like Dame. Y'all got to understand. I don't know why they playing with him. Dame, the team you played last year, that was Giannisless. Dame was trying to carry the team, and then he got hurt. So then it was Chris Middleton.
And by the way, we saw Dame in game 1. As I said, Dame came out and put up 35 points in the first half.
Went crazy so
against the Pacers.
I don't know why they would play that game. The Pacers are not as talented as the Milwaukee Bucks. They're a very good basketball team, but when you have Dame and you have Giannis, they're both healthy and ready to go. I don't know why them Pacers playing that game.
Think about the Bucks' record in playoff games with Dame and Giannis.
We don't know.
Exactly. I mean, that's the wild thing to think about.
Can you believe this was Giannis' first playoff game in almost 2 years?
Yeah.
Almost 2 years. 700 days.
Yeah, so disappointing way to start yesterday, but we'll have a lot more on that. We'll have Jason Wilde. I guess we'll have a 7-11 now. I gotta figure that out. We'll also do our picks on the rest of the first round of the playoffs and look at our standings to see how we are doing in our NBA postseason picks.
Good.
You might have done okay. We will do that as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Slide into your neighborhood Century Food Store to score the freshest produce, tastiest treats, and everything in between.
Now through Wednesday, save on 4.75 to 9-ounce selected varieties, Frito-Lay Lays or Kettle Chips or dip, 2 for $5. 4-count selected varieties, Dole Fruit Bowls, 2 for $6. 8-count selected varieties, Jimmy Dean's Breakfast Sandwiches, $9.99. 12.5 to 19.6 selected varieties, Pepperidge Farm Layer Cakes, $3.99.
Let's get some strawberries.
Attention shoppers. Safe.
Okay. Ooh. Pineapple fulfills every need.
While you're shopping, a drive way back, it's a gunner.
There's something goofy going on with the PA.
Need a price check and I'll take me out to the ball game.
See, what is going on?
You're hearing things. We're at Century Foods, and you can't take your mind off winning that ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes.
I'm hoping to throw out the first pitch at a Milwaukee baseball game.
Or attend batting practice.
Or hold the finish line ribbon for the racing sausages.
You don't say.
The ultimate baseball fan sweepstakes at Century Foods. Enter on Century's Facebook or Instagram by July 30th.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue, Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Save big money on your bathroom update at Menards. Transform your bathroom with a stunning new vanity from Magic Woods. With over 100 options to choose from, our vanities combine contemporary style with durable materials. Find the ideal piece to create the bathroom you've always wanted. From stylish and elegant to simple and modern. Save big money on Magic Woods vanities at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
There's a winning magic powering up at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This April, prepare for an exciting quest to $300,000 in the Enchanted Spin Slot Tournament. Just conjure your rewards card and play slots to earn drawing entries. Each Thursday, 60 winners will compete for thousands in cash and prizes. Let your journey begin with Enchanted Spins, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Kyle Bruston Northman, KBN.
Were they good enough in that game against Philadelphia? Yes. But the narrative that the defense this past season, this is blasphemy.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Yeah, we finna set it off in this motherfucker. You heard me? I'm finna put you in the trash can in this motherfucker.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Carbless Talk and Text line is open. That means you could give us a call right now. Tell us your thoughts on that Milwaukee Bucks 117-98 defeat against the Indiana Pacers yesterday. How you're feeling about this series moving forward. Jason Wilde will join us at 10:30. Kyle, the guy who was, to me, the biggest outlier, I know a lot of people have jumped on Kyle Kuzma on this, was Bobby.
Yeah, he didn't play well either. He didn't play well.
I don't know that he didn't play well. He didn't shoot well.
Play well, shoot well. That's part of playing, Craig.
Right, it's part of playing.
I mean,
it's not the only part.
The Bucks were trying to make a push to come back late in the fourth quarter where Bobby had a chance to hit an open three, and he missed it.
Bobby had a few.
Clankety clank, clank.
Yeah, Bobby was 0 for 4 from 3. Bobby played 25 minutes, was 2 of 8 overall. Bobby did have 8 rebounds. Bobby was +3 on the game when he was on the court. So, to me, that's interesting.
94.5 ESPN Sunday Karma. What is your name? What you calling for?
I like that Kyle keeps the microphone on. That's why he's the worst producer in the business. He's the best host in the business, worst producer in the business. Give us a call as
I like people to get the background.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we do it. You hear Kyle screening the calls in the background. You should be giving us a call also. Jump in, tell us your thoughts on the Bucks loss yesterday, on the Milwaukee Bucks. That's what we're talking right now. 800-990-ESPN. That's 800-990-3776. Less is more, the Carbless Talk and Text line. So I mentioned Bobby, and remember last year, he kind of got swept up in a lot of the emotion of the series against the Pacers and actually got ejected and then came back and played one of the best games of his Bucks career. And so the thing I will continue to say about Bobby is just because he has a down game, do not write off what Bobby Portis is going to be and how he's going to be back up in game 2. So just because he shot poorly in that game, just because it's like, oh, when Bobby's not shooting well, all the Bobby stuff seems like a negative. When he is shooting well, I trust Bobby in a big spot. I do not think he's going to have back-to-back bad shooting games. He is such a good offensive player that I trust Bobby going into game 2. Part of why I feel good about the Bucks going into game 2. Let's talk to Dirty D. You're on Sunday Karma. Morning, D.
Morning. First of all, Bobby is the only other consistent player on that team besides Giannis. And we traded away Chris Middleton for what?
We traded away Chris Middleton for Kyle Kuzma and others.
And what did he do?
For flexibility.
And what did he do yesterday? Nothing.
Dirty D was for flexibility. It's for financial flexibility.
No,
nothing.
He did not. That is correct.
Cash considerations.
He hasn't shown up. He hasn't shown up all that much. You can't even compare that man to Chris Middleton.
Yeah, it's
the only the person that we got that was really good, that's really showing up also, is KBJ. That boy's crazy.
He is, and you saw flashes of it yesterday. But back to Kuzma, I think the thing is, like, he is not the offensive player that Chris Middleton is. He is a big presence. He's hopefully part of, if they're going to get out and run, what could be part of that. But in fast break points, they lost 22-5 yesterday. Kyle Kuzma has to be part of getting defensive stops. He needs to be a better defensive player than Chris Middleton was to help them get out and run. We can't expect him to be any kind of shooter in the way Chris Middleton. That's not realistic.
Their defense sucked yesterday. Their defense was horrible yesterday.
That we can agree on. And I don't want to sugarcoat it and be like, well, they caught up, all that. I think, Diana, we've all seen enough games that we know once teams are up by 25, they're not playing as well. So I don't want to even give the Bucks such credit for coming back. I think we have to see that the Bucks can stop the Pacers, because you're right, defense was terrible and couldn't stop Indiana at all yesterday.
God, I hope they can do something, because I hate to think of what's going to happen if we screw up again, if we're going to lose Giannis next season.
Oh my gosh!
Three first round departures in a row is what I think people are worried about, right? And I think what we saw yesterday was Giannis take it all on himself in that first quarter.
He sure did.
And he was doing great taking it all on himself. I don't think that's a sustainable way to win. And if Giannis is going to drag us through this series, I think it's going to be with those assist totals that we were talking about. And with Dame back, it's not going to be at that same level. But Doc Rivers said something pretty interesting. Kyle, I don't know if you heard this.
If it was after the game, no.
No. It was actually before the game.
Okay, what did he say?
He was asked, once Dame comes back, how do you readjust, Giannis? And he's like, we're not going to do it. We want Giannis in that role he's been playing with Dame out.
Ooh.
And let Dame be one of those shooters and one of those dangerous offensive weapons that Giannis is distributing to.
That's extremely dangerous.
Right? I mean, that to me is a model that I think, and I'm not overstating this, that's a model that could not only beat Indiana, but could be competitive with Cleveland. If you have that, if you have Giannis as the guy who's it's starting with, and a lot of times people look at Denver and Jokic and the best player in the world that many people are saying right now, and what do they say? How do you beat Denver?
Up pace, tempo.
Make Jokic shoot. Don't let him distribute. Give him his 40 or 50, because when he scores 40 or 50, they're less likely to win than when he has 15, 18 assists.
Oh, yeah, 29, 9, and 12 yesterday.
Now, sometimes that guy will go crazy and go 60, 20, and 20, so you can't even compare him to humans. But the same thing with Giannis. The Bucks may be more dangerous when Giannis has 12, 13 assists than when Giannis has 40 points.
When I look at this, my biggest thing is if the role players play more consistently for the Milwaukee Bucks, it's a different outcome. It's a complete. I'm not concerned.
But again,
Dirty D, don't be concerned.
And if you watch it possession by possession, got to put the role players in their opportunities to succeed. We got to get them their touches. Kyle Kuzma was not getting the touches in rhythm. And so then he took some bad shots to start the second half.
What is in rhythm for Kyle? I'm not trying to. I love Kyle because his name is Kyle. But I'm being legit. What is in rhythm for Kyle Kuzma with the Milwaukee Bucks? Because that just seems like something I could not see.
Yeah.
He's talented. I saw it when he played against the G League Pistons team. He went crazy in the first half, right? But, what is in rhythm for him?
Well, so we saw him not even touch the ball. So when you don't touch the ball for the first 4 minutes and 30 seconds of the game, then you feel like you need to get a shot off, and then you're taking a shot that's not within the offense. Right? Kyle Kuzma can hit an open corner three. Kyle Kuzma also, if you can get the ball to him while he's diving toward the basket, is super athletic and a good finisher who could finish with either hand and is really tough to deal with in the transition game. I mean, he's a really talented player. He can play defense. He's a guy who allows this team to be switchable. Like we saw that yesterday. When Brook Lopez is not in this game, you could basically switch just about every pick and roll. This is now a really, really versatile defensive team. And obviously, Brook Lopez brings a lot defensively when he's in the game. All right, we'll talk to Jason Wilde about the Green Bay Packers. It is draft week as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Tailgate season, company victory party, don't let your event fall short. The Private Bar Services delivers the winning play with expertise. We're talking custom cocktails, top shelf service, and an atmosphere that'll have your team pumped. Forget the watered-down beer and basic mixers. Get the VIP treatment for your corporate events with bartenders who know the perfect pour. The Private Bar Services, where elevated hospitality runs through our veins. Explore bprivatebar.com and leave the mixing to us.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
No shortcuts, no compromises, just the job done right. At Exterior Pros, we don't just meet expectations, we crush them. Every nail, every window, every shingle is a step toward your home's next chapter. From the moment we start until that final reveal, we're committed to making your home better than ever. Quality products and craftsmanship you can count on. Go to the pros for your next project. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274.
This message is sponsored by WisCaregiver.com. People across Wisconsin are enjoying the rewards, stability, and flexibility of a career in healthcare. Why not you? WisCaregiver.com gets you started. Choose between two great options. Become a CDCP, Certified Direct Care Professional, or a CNA, Certified Nurse Aide. Training is free, plus earn a $500 bonus. It's easy to start your new career. Learn more at WisCaregiver.com.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. You've heard me talk about my community, so you know that local means something to me. And it means something to Great Midwest Bank as well. But what exactly does it mean to be a local bank? GMB understands community because they're part of it. Employees live here, and customers, well, they're just neighbors. Great Midwest Bank offers customized products that others just can't offer. Over 90 years of being a proud part of your community. Great Midwest Bank. Simply giving, simply local.
Wisconsin is still cattle country. And that's why Bunzel's chose to stay close to home to hand select the finest beef. Quality goes into everything they do, from Bunzel's expansive array of meats, homemade specialty sausages, and their award-winning beef jerky. It just isn't a proper holiday meal without Bunzel's top quality cuts on the dinner table. Tasting is believing. Visit Bunzel's at 90th and Burleigh or bunzels.com.
Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Then we start off in the bed. Took her back to my crib, and I regret it. She tryna feel like she asleep. So she tried to stay the whole week. I'm like, oh nah, she gotta go. Ask me her name, I swear I don't even know. They wanna know why the girl them dip on me.
Continuing Sunday Karma with Jason Wilde on draft week. Jason, what does the draft represent for you when it comes to the offseason? Is it like get past the draft and exhale, or is it get past the draft and now there's now all of these new people that I need to write about? What is the draft for you?
Well, that I get to write about and talk about. First of all, I love the draft. I hate the draft industrial complex. Hey, check out my 15th mock draft where I go all 7 rounds. That I don't like, because we're all guessing. Not even Brian Gutekunst knows who he's going to pick. He's got guys he likes. He's got guys that intrigue him, but he doesn't know who's going to be on the board when he's up. I always use the example. Jaden Reed has been a terrific pick. He traded back twice in the second round in 2023 and could have easily missed out on him had he gone when they traded back and the Lions took Brian Branch, or had he gone when they traded back again. But instead, he was still available and they got him. He's led them in receiving the last 2 years. So I don't like the draft industrial complex going into the draft, but the actual draft day, the 3 days, and finding out the excitement of them being on the clock. I remember in 2005 thinking, oh my God, they're going to draft the quarterback. They're going to take Aaron Rodgers here. They can't pass him up, can they? And of course they didn't. I just think that when you look at the draft itself, it's the kickoff to the new season. Now, I used to think of the scouting combine because that's really when, that's kind of like the soft launch of the new season. But the draft is really, okay, it's on. We'll get the schedule a few weeks after that. The off-season program is in gear. So to me, this is probably one of my favorite weekends of the year.
Now, how does this weekend become different with the draft actually being here? Because I would think the Packers usually have their draft headquarters here, and then the draft is wherever it is, right? Because all the teams don't go to where the draft is. So when the draft comes to you, how will this make things different for the Packers, and how will this make things different for you?
Yeah, in some ways, it changes a lot. In some ways, it doesn't change anything. For the Packers, Goody even said this last year as we were wrapping up last year's draft. The only thing that changes for him is how difficult it's going to be to get in the parking lot and what the logistics are going to be to get to the stadium. That's the biggest thing. And it's the same as the case for me. We obviously have some awesome stuff planned for draft week, and Tausch and I are going to do the show from the Tundra Trio every day. There's all kinds of fun stuff that is kind of ancillary to the draft being in Green Bay that wouldn't be the case if the draft was in Chicago or New York or Nashville or Detroit. But overall, for those of us covering the draft, and obviously for the team, nothing changes.
So what are you telling people? Because I'm getting this question a lot, and you live there.
The logistics of getting into the stadium for Goody and LaFleur and the scouting staff.
Oh, sorry, I'm listening back to you earlier, I think. So, Jason, what are you telling people who are like, should I go to the draft, or is it going to be a total mess? What are you telling people about actual Thursday, Friday, Saturday when they ask you if they should go to the draft?
Well, I think you definitely have to go. I think being able to see the pomp and circumstance and all the different things that we're going to get to see because it's in our backyard, I don't think you want to miss that, because it's never happened before, and I got news for you, it's never happening again. Mark Murphy talked multiple times about how this is their Super Bowl. They'll never get the Super Bowl. There's not enough hotel space. The weather's not good enough, all that stuff. But this is their Super Bowl. So if you have the opportunity, by the way, it's also, the event itself is free. You download the NFL One Pass and you register to be able to attend, but there's no cost in the actual, it's not like getting a ticket to a Packers game and then you have parking and concessions and souvenirs and everything else. There's no cost to the actual event. Now, obviously, you could spend a ton of money at it, but I just think it's such a neat thing to have in Wisconsin. And I will admit, though, I am extremely curious to see what the attendance looks like, because we've been told by the folks that are in charge that they're expecting about 250,000 people during the course of the 3 days. And in Detroit, they had 775,000. So what does that look like? How does that look on TV?
Oh, Kyle, what are you saying, Kyle? You're a little embarrassed by that? What's up? What was that reaction?
Green Bay, Wisconsin, so it's going to be a lot different on how many people can fit in there. But still, I didn't realize Detroit had 700,000. 300,000 people. Jason, you're in Green Bay. Of influx of people, that's a lot.
Right, because Detroit starts with a lot more people than Green Bay.
It does, and it has a lot more space.
And a lot more direct flights and easier ways to get there, and even cities that are a 2-hour drive, right? When you think about some of the places
area,
that are close. But, I mean, Jason, are you thinking that? Are you thinking it'll be 1/3 the crowd of what we saw last year in Detroit?
Yeah, I don't know how they arrived at that number. I can tell you this. I know I have friends who thought they were going to get rich quick on renting out their homes, and that market has not materialized here. So I don't know if it's because it's more difficult to go to. I don't know if it's, we all think of Green Bay as this quaint football mecca, and we're lucky to have it in our backyard. But I think, without sounding like a small town boy, I think, a big city person might not find it all that quaint and might not be super interested in spending 3 days in northeastern Wisconsin. So, again, I don't know how they arrived at that estimate. Obviously, they're much better at estimating that kind of stuff than I am. But if that's their expectation, if they haven't seen, hotel rooms, the girls have their regional gymnastics championships this coming weekend, and it's in Madison. And when we were first planning their season, it's going to be so hectic, and you're not going to be able to get a hotel room as far as Madison because there's going to be so many people coming in for the draft. That's not the case at all. I got the normal rates I would get on any random April weekend for the hotel that they're going to be at. So I think those are kind of the context clues that tell us it's not going to be an overwhelming throng of people. But again, to Kyle's point, this is not a big city. It's so you put, 100,000 people on Friday or Thursday, 50,000 on Friday and 50,000 on Saturday. I'm just making up those numbers. I don't know. Is that overwhelming? Maybe, but I'm so curious to see how it shakes out.
So that makes you, if you're a fan, I think, more likely to go, right? Because it's not like, it's going to be 500,000 people when it's normally 100,000, let's say. Typical Packer Sunday, maybe 100,000, right? That you fill the stadium, and then there's some ancillary people who are out there hanging out, part of the festivities. If it was going to be like Detroit, you'd be looking at 5X. You're saying you don't think it's that. It may be 1.5X on Thursday night, which to me makes it very manageable.
Yeah, I would agree. And look, again, I think the NFL has been very clear that they're not necessarily looking for this to be big in terms of sheer numbers. I don't think that's what they're interested in.
Which, Jason, by the way, I was there in Vegas, and it was just massive and expansive. I was there in Nashville, and it was just like an absolute party, and and that was pre-COVID. But I was there in Detroit last year. I ended up not even going into the draft. I was there for the whole weekend, the whole everything. It was so crowded when the draft was starting in Detroit. Oh, by the way, I was there in Cleveland, and Cleveland was great and big and manageable. When it was starting in Detroit, I was like, cool, I'll get an Uber to my hotel, and I'll watch it on TV. That's how how wild it looked last year to me. And again, I had been to a few others, so if it was my first, it may have been different. But the others, you could get in there, you could watch a few picks. it's so fun, Jason, as you said. Like, it is like, it almost feels like when you see these NFL Europe games and you see everyone wearing just their 1 foot NFL jersey that they have, and you see all these random teams. That's what the draft is, because you truly are getting fans from everywhere and who support every team. And it is a worthwhile thing. And if you don't love big crowds, then as you said, Friday and Saturday are going to be a great day to go up for the family. It doesn't cost anything. I mean, so I think if you're a football fan in any way, I think you got to go up for one of those 3 days at least.
Yeah, and you have different experience than me because I've never been to a draft. Like every year, someone in my friendship circle will ask, "Hey, are you going to?" Last year it was Detroit, but when it was in Chicago in 2015 and 2016, are you going down to the draft? Well, no, because Goody and LaFleur, or at the time Ted Thompson or Mike McCarthy, they're all in Green Bay. Like, it could be in Green Bay or New York or Cleveland or on the moon. The operation is the same. And so for you to have been to all those different sites and having experienced them and having different experiences at each of them, I'm eager for you to compare them when you see what Green Bay is like, because I don't mind crowds, but if it's really over the top, like it sounds like Detroit was, and it was kind of if I remember how it was described to us by, the folks that were trying to give us an idea of what it's going to look like here a year ago, it was in a pretty contained area of Detroit, which made it feel that much more crowded in addition to having that many people there. So, the draft campus here, there were a lot of folks that thought, well, they're going to put the stage inside Lambeau Field when we first heard that they were getting the draft. No, they have constructed, for those that haven't been following this, they have constructed a stage that is built on Oneida Street. So if you've been to Lambeau Field, Lambeau is basically the intersection of Lombardi and Oneida. And then across Oneida Street is the Resch Expo Center and the Resch Center Arena and the Don Hudson Center practice facility. So they have constructed the stage on the streets, and the crowd goes back toward Lambeau Field. So all the seats will go in that direction. So when a player comes out onto the stage and there's a camera person following them, Lambeau will be in the background out the back of the theater. And I know from the Zoom calls that we were on with some of the planners that from a TV perspective, that's what they were looking for. And again, I think they feel like they can create a vibe here that is not the same as those big city parties. And I think they feel like that will serve them well for the audience that isn't here. And then for the audience that is here, it should be a more manageable crowd, because while they may get big numbers, or at least big numbers compared to a game day, I think it's spread out enough with the Titletown district, the surrounding area of Lambeau, that it's going to be manageable. And you brought up it being, Friday or Saturday for your family. I think that's another reason why folks that thought they were going to, make big money off of renting out their house have been really disappointed, because I do think this is almost like an NFL. It's like a pro football carnival. And so there's going to be a bunch of things that kids can do. Like, I just think it's a really great kind of a, dare I say, outreach, because I know they make tons of money and everything else, but for it to be a free event and for it to be family friendly, I think that's going to be a pretty cool thing for our city.
Yeah, and I think it's because they want it to look like a good TV show. They've taken something. Jason, when I was a kid, I was watching the Knicks game yesterday. When I was a kid, I would go to a Knicks playoff game, and before that, I would basically convince my dad, hey, can we just walk over to the draft and watch like 4 or 5 picks? Because back then, the draft was just happening in a ballroom, like at a hotel. That would be like a block away from Madison Square Garden. So we'd walk over to the Marriott Marquis, and people would be drafting, like back when Mark Chmura was drafted, back all the way back in the day. So the fact that
before Evan Cohen was keeping track of all the picks.
Yes.
Notepad.
So the fact that they have made this into a show like this is why they want fans to come out, why they do make it such a fun environment, and why I do agree with you. It's worth getting out there if you are a Wisconsinite and you are a football fan just to be a part of it this weekend. All right, we'll talk about the Packers and their draft as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The 2015 Wisconsin men's hoops team gave us all a march to remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin with an unbelievable stretch drive to the championship game.
On June 26th, enjoy an intimate celebration with the stars of the run with Made 'em Believe. Presented by M3 Insurance. World-class expertise and individual attention. Tickets are on sale now at uwhoops2015.com. Made 'em Believe. June 26th at the Orpheum Theater in Madison.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some great news from my friends at Bank 59. For a limited time, you can earn as much as 4.8% on one of their CD specials. With 9, 17, and 25-month options, you're sure to find a CD that fits your needs while you earn a great return. It's simply another way Bank 59 is making lives better in our communities. Hurry, these high rates won't last long. Check out bank59.com/CD for more details. Member FDIC.
Get the last roof you'll ever need with steel roofing from Menards. Steel roofing is durable, offering your home the best protection from wind, hail, and fire. Choose from 29 stylish colors that enhance the appearance of your home. They are available in cut-to-your-length panels that cover a large area quickly for fast installation. Plus, check out our weekly flyer for other great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue in Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Start the day with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Can't get to the Super Bowl in early October, but they are not playing like a team that has those types of aspirations right now.
On 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Yes! Flea Falls, boy. With me, Harlem.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin
I
app.
put my stamp of authenticity. No better than me in planet. I swear to God. I'm on my again. I don't be sitting around thinking what I could have been. I'ma do it now. I told mama I'ma do it proud. I do what I want. You do what you allow. My dog blew the loud into a cloud. These verses heinous, so of course they train us doing time.
Continuing, Jason Wilde, we gave you the backdrop of if you should be attending the draft. Now we'll tell you what you're going to see if you go to the draft. So, Jason, first let's hit the non-Packer side of this. You know, it seems like Cam Ward's going 1, and then it seems like whatever happens with Shedeur Sanders seems to shape most of what's interesting with the rest of the draft. Is Travis Hunter now a consensus number 2? And does that put Abdul Carter 3? And is Shedeur like 9 to the Saints and dropping? Or is there still scenarios where Shedeur goes to the Giants or the Browns? Like, what are we hearing at the top of the draft?
Yeah, I know this, and obviously our ESPN Cleveland teammates are much more tied in on the Browns than I am. But, you know, hearing Andrew Berry talk about him and hearing the comparisons to Shohei Ohtani, I am fascinated by Travis Hunter. I mean, I do my annual draft previews, which are more, here's where the Packers stand, here's how maybe the draft can help them at each position. And Travis Hunter is the one guy that I will have written about twice as the most intriguing wide receiver prospect and the most intriguing cornerback prospect. And so, you know, he has been very clear that he wants to play both ways. That is something that is largely unprecedented.
Jason, it kind of reminds me of what we saw with some of the prospects like Lamar Jackson, where it was like, I'm a quarterback. Stop trying to tell me what I am. Like, right. I know what I am. And it obviously is different, but I don't think we haven't ever seen this, right? Where you're saying he's the best player at 2 of the positions in the draft?
Yeah. And so how do you pass that up if you obviously if you feel good about your quarterback situation? Now, the Browns, I mean, when Jimmy Haslam comes out and says what he did about, you know, taking such a big swing on Deshaun Watson and having it work out the way it has, you know, I don't know that team well enough. I defer to Tony Grossi as to whether or not they're in a position to say, well, we'll wait for the next round of quarterbacks if that's where we end up.
Well, and they brought back Joe Flacco, who brought them to the playoffs 2 years ago, and we saw Myles Garrett sign, you know, which he had originally said he didn't want to sign if he didn't feel like the team could compete. So maybe that was just all looking for a big contract, but I don't know where that puts them.
Well, I also think this, like, if we're being honest about whether it's Sanders or Cam Ward or Jackson Dart, like, I don't, you know, I think if you talk to people who are far deeper into the actual quality of the prospects, I don't think there's the same feeling about them that there have been about other quarterbacks at the top of recent drafts, right? Like Joe Burrow or like Caleb Williams. I know Caleb Williams' rookie season, you know, our ESPN Chicago teammates obviously watched that unfold, and I did too, because I keep saying this, and I know Packers fans don't like it, but I want Caleb Williams to be good. I want a Love-Caleb Williams rivalry and a Packers-Bears rivalry where those teams are competing to win the division and playing in playoff games against each other, because I think that would do so much for what has been such a lopsided rivalry for X number of years. But I don't know if you can look at Cam Ward, I don't know if you can look at Shedeur Sanders and feel the same way.
I mean, Jason, I've heard them compared more to like that Drake May, like, you know, last year's 4th and 5th quarterbacks last year.
Right. Yep, exactly. And look, Drake May is off to a wonderful start, right, in New England.
Oh, and Bo Nix, right? I mean, those guys in the middle of the first round last year look like, you know, they could be Pro Bowl type quarterbacks.
Right, and if you take swings at them, I mean, that's great, but the reality is all too often you are wandering in the quarterbacking wilderness, and then you try the next guy. And then, I mean, the Bears obviously know it from firsthand experience from Trubisky to Fields. They're hoping they finally put an end to it after all these years. Well, lots of teams tried it and think they maybe have their guy. And this is one of the reasons why, I feel like we crowned Jordan Love prematurely, because we're used to the other extreme of quarterbacking royalty as opposed to peasantry. Like, if you look at Jordan Love and what he did in the second half of 23, there's no denying that was plenty of reason to be excited. Inconsistency last year, injury a factor. That's why I keep saying that this is such a critical year for him to show that he is who Packers fans hope he is. I think he's more likely than not that guy, but I still can't say that with the level of certainty that other quarterbacks you can say it about.
So as we move on from that group and the top of the draft and how that'll end up shaping things, and if there could be a Rodgers-like fall for Shedeur Sanders, where do you look at the Green Bay Packers? And by the way, have you watched the movie Draft Day?
I watch it every year. I love that movie.
Okay, me too. What do you think of my theory that in the best trade since Draft Day, what if Goody traded his first-round pick for the first pick of the second round? Just straight up.
Straight up? Who is he, that kid in Jacksonville who's getting fleeced by Kevin Costner?
Yes. Now here,
why?
Okay,
why?
So here's my theory. And I recognize this would put him up for a lot of potential risk. So the Browns have that first pick of the second round. Nobody thinks there's more than 15 or 18 first-round pick quality players in this draft. So where the Packers are picking, it's not that different of a player than you're going to get with the first pick of the second day. But that first pick of the second day, you have a full day for teams to be like, oh, wow, that guy's still there. Oh, that's our only first-round guy left on the board. Oh, we really want that guy. I feel like that first pick of the second day is one of the more valuable picks of the draft because people will overpay you for that pick. So if the Packers trade back and have that pick, then they can parlay that into something really big.
So you certainly make that trade if you get another pick or two along with.
Oh, well, of course you do. I'm talking about the truly preposterous thing that's never been done in draft history of moving back 10 picks and getting nothing in return.
Yes, you're an innovator. That's why you've been so successful. Look, the Packers have done that. They have picked at the top of the second round or very, very close to the top of the second round a couple of times in the last 8 years. And actually, if you even go back to 2008, when Ted Thompson traded back out of the first round and took Jordy Nelson with the second round pick and accumulated more picks, this is actually, as much as your straight up preposterous idea is far-fetched and misguided, the idea of being at the top of the draft on day 2 is not at all a bad idea. That part you've nailed because. And I remember this used to be the case way back when this was a 2-day affair, and day 1 on Saturday was the first, second, and third round, and then day 2 on Sunday was rounds 4 through 7. And you always wanted to be able to, I remember Ron Wolf talking about it, you can reset your board because everything's so frantic, especially back then when you were doing first 3 rounds in one day. Everything's so frantic, you got to figure out what your where are you at? Who did we miss? Who's still on the board that we didn't realize was still on the board? That kind of thing. But in the last several years, in 2017, they trade back. They have the first pick of the second round, which I think they got from Cleveland, if I remember correctly. And they miss out on T.J. Watt, and they take Kevin King. And Kevin King is the 33rd overall pick. A couple of years ago, the Packers are actually trying to trade up with the Vikings for the 32nd pick, the last pick of the first round. They want to take Christian Watson. The Vikings say we like having the 50th option for that player, but the Vikings have the 34th pick, the second pick of the second round as well, and the Packers end up trading up for that. They give up both their second round picks for that 34th pick, and then they take Christian Watson. So, no, the idea behind your preposterous thought is actually a really good one, but we know Goody wants more picks. And so if your idea with more picks added in, I would not be surprised at all if that's the case, because there are, again, folks that have tracked this class much more closely than me, the Daniel Jeremiahs, the Mel Kuypers, the Dane Bruglers. There is a feeling that there is a cliff where in the first round there is a drop-off of guys that are truly deserving of being first-round picks.
And with the Packers' first selection, regardless of what position they draft, like what if they move a pick up or down or whatever, the Packers will be selecting, Jason?
So I saw our buddy Alex Strofe post this, how he's kept this dream alive since he was just a little toddler in diapers. But it was 2002 that they drafted Javon Walker in the first round, Mike Sherman trading up to take him. I think this is the year that the wide receiver drought in the first round comes to an end. I don't know which of those three wide receivers that they brought in for visits is going to be the guy. I don't know if they're going to have to move up to get the guy or not. Yeah. Hey, McMillan is a fascinating player. I really like Abuka from Ohio State, and then Matthew Golden. All three of those guys came in for visits. And for as much as, you know, as Strofe is saying, I'm getting my hopes up again. I'm willing to be this rare instance where these guys came for visits, and that is a significant tell on just how authentic the Packers are about the idea of drafting a first-round wide receiver. That has not been the case in previous years. We do know, say, in 2020, that one of the players that Goody was enamored with was Justin Jefferson, who I think went 22 to the Vikings. Brandon Ayuk went 25, and then he took Jordan Love at 26. I wish we had a time machine. I wish Jordan Love and Justin Jefferson were on the board at the exact same time for Goody, because I would love to know what that would do to Packers history. But the bottom line is they have shown an interest in 3 first-round graded wide receivers. Will they finally take one? I say this is the year.
Wow, that would definitely be interesting. Jason, real quick, the interesting thing to me is I heard pretty much the only position that's like off the charts this year is running back. Now, the Packers have shown they can get running backs. Like, their backups seemed great last year, and they didn't use any draft capital. Do you see the chance that, like, 4 or 5 running backs could go in the first round, given that we saw the Eagles, the Ravens? Like, I mean, we saw running backs this year make
first round,
huge impact. Yes.
No.
Could we see? Well, we're going to see one go in the top 6 or 7, right?
Elite.
Could we see any other running backs like we used to jump up into the first round?
I don't think there's going to be 4 or 5 running backs, but I think there'll be more than just Ashton Genty. And I do think running back is back. I think, you know, Matt LaFleur did a really good job of explaining this, talking about how these shell defenses that teams are playing now to keep everything in front of them, to eliminate big plays in the passing game. Their teams are basically daring you to run the football. And while it's great, yeah, we can conjure up a 1,000-yard rusher from a day 3 pick or an undrafted free agent. You see the impact that players who are truly special at that position can have. So I do think the script has flipped a little bit. And look, the Packers, don't forget the Packers have what is basically a bonus draft pick for this rookie class because of what happened to him last year. But they drafted Marshawn Lloyd in the 3rd round last year out of USC. Jordan Love called him a little rocket in the backfield because he's so explosive. But he had some of the worst luck of any player I've ever seen in my time covering the Packers. Like, I mean, he was finally going to come back from an ankle injury, and then he gets an appendicitis and has to have emergency surgery. Like, he was so unlucky. But that gives them basically an extra rookie for this class. And I think they are, I saw Ben Sermons at Maddie's track meet. He's the running backs coach. They are super excited about what he can be. So I don't think the Packers spend on a running back in the draft, but I definitely think that is a position that teams are seeing the value in more than ever before in the last decade or so.
Kyle, you were laughing at me. Let's watch. You got Genty. You got Henderson from Ohio State.
Travion Henderson's not going round one. Round two, probably.
You don't think he's going first round?
He shouldn't go round one. You got Hampton. Those are the big two. And then you got Junkins as well.
I was going to say Sampson from Tennessee, Hampton from North Carolina. When the third running back goes at like pick number 29, I expect a green will text.
4 or 5. Three's a lot.
When three comes in by pick 29, I expect that little green text from you, your little non-iPhone text to be like, maybe 4 could happen here.
4. There will be 2 because Hampton won't get past the Broncos.
Okay, but I'm saying once 3 comes in, I'll expect that text to be like, okay, maybe something's happening here.
If three come in the first round, I will give you that text. Say, oh wow, Craig, that's crazy.
Yep. All right. Well, we know it all. The whole draft's going to be about Shedeur Sanders, which should actually make it interesting. I don't think that's a negative. Shedeur Sanders could be we've seen it, right, Jason? A lot of times the second quarterback has been better than the first quarterback picked. It happened. It happened last year for sure. So be very interesting to see what happens with Shedeur. I think the Aaron Rodgers, Alex Smith, right? There's that comparison there. So I think the whole draft night on TV will be a lot about what happens with Shedeur, and rightfully so, because I think that's going to be a big story throughout this NFL season. Jason, it's one of your favorite times of the year. Enjoy it thoroughly, especially with it being in your hometown, or your hometown, not your, right?
Sort of.
Green
Adopted
Bay's
hometown.
Kind of.
I just want to add this, Kyle, if you could switch to the iPhone, I can't even make my Sunday Karma group chat. And I like to put a photo and everybody's in there, but you're the outlier,
Jason.
And so you can't name the group.
Jason.
Have you considered making the switch?
I can name people name groups for me all the time. I see I got the KBN group, but Jason, I'm gonna tell you something about me, man. I'm a leader. I'm not a follower. I'm never gonna be a sheep. So it's gonna be Android forever.
He's still using his BlackBerry. He's still doing his thing. So he's got his flip phone. He's got his flip phone BlackBerry it slides out with a full keyboard. Still doing his thing. There you go. Jason Wilde, appreciate it as always. Listen to him on Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon. Follow him at Jason J. Wilde. Thanks so much, Jason.
All right, guys. Take care. Be good.
Happy Easter to you and the family and everybody out there. I think we've already missed our 7 at 11, so we'll see what's next. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
They say seeing is believing. And when you check out what's waiting for you at American Place Casino, you'll definitely believe you'll love it. From thrilling gaming to top-notch service, we're changing the game. Come play all your favorites like blackjack, craps, roulette, and the latest slots. Catch a game at the sportsbook, enjoy great restaurants, bars, and more. If you're ready for excitement, exceptional service, and an experience you'll never forget, then we'll see you soon. American Place Casino. Change the game. Must be 21 years of age or older. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, crisis counseling and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
What's the best way to refresh your spring wardrobe? Easy. Just come into Macy's and meet with one of our free personal stylists. They're experts who know more than just the latest trends and styles. They know how to find the looks, fits, and sizes that are perfect for you. Even better, get an extra 20% off purchases at your first session. So book your free appointment in-store or at Macy's.com/personal stylist and walk out with a whole new spring wardrobe at 20% off. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
And now, unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see on the horizon, Green Bay is going to run this thing back and probably pick up an early round draft pick to add to that room.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And you hope that these other guys will emerge and can add, but I don't see them making a J.R. Ewing type change.
Weekdays from 9 to noon on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. Listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
At 11 with Jason Wilde, as it's already 11:15. So we'll skip the 7-11, but it will be back when we are back. Is the show off next week?
I wonder. I have to check because you know what? I was looking at the schedule for next week.
I think there's maybe someone filling in. I think all four of us are off, right?
Yeah, we are. I'm out of town. You out of town?
Yeah.
Scalzo is probably recovering. Strofe has a wedding.
Big week. I mean, what a week with the NBA playoffs going on, with the Brewers 2 games back, fighting through all of their injuries. Easter, always a fun day at the ballpark. Kyle, let's do our check. We said we would do this throughout the year. You claim to be a loyal supporter of the Milwaukee Brewers. Let's do our check of how many Brewers games we've attended this year.
So my first Brewers game I will attend will be...
Wait. First, will attend. So that kind of gives me a little feel for where you're going with this.
But I am, trust me, I am
So
a
the Brewers have
fan.
played 12 home games. They have won 8. If you've gone to a Brewers game, 8 of the 12 games, you have walked away celebrating.
No, they played very well at home. I'm very excited about this Brewers season, Craig. To me...
You're so excited that you have attended how many of the first 12 games?
0. 0 for 12. 0 for 12. I haven't been able to make it out quite yet. I had a lot of other things to move around and do. It's very busy. The Wallace household is very, very busy. But I'm excited.
Wait. How would you compare the busyness of your household to my household?
Mine is much busier.
Much busier? Okay.
Man.
Okay.
You have a self-sufficient child. You've won the game.
Okay.
Your child can do. She can do whatever she needs to do. She don't need you maybe to drive.
But I'm saying I got dogs. I got a child. But what do you have in the household that makes it so difficult?
Oh my gosh! I gotta clean. I gotta feed myself. I gotta.
Can you eat at the game?
No. Oh gosh! Like yesterday, I had to do so much yesterday. I had to watch draft stuff yesterday to get prepared for draft week. I'm so busy.
All right,
Craig.
so if you're gonna try to catch me, I'm up to 4 Brewers games this year.
Do you pay for tickets?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well,
but you have a press pass. You don't pay for tickets.
I do not have a press pass.
That's because you don't go to games.
No, you can't. You just don't want to just give everybody a press pass.
You would have a press pass if you actually would go and cover the games.
Craig, I'm too big of a fan to cover the game. I'm a fan.
You're too big of a fan to go to the games?
I'm a fan. You're
a fan of 90 Day Fiancé and your boat. Just be honest.
And my Brewers. I love my Brewers. I'm very, very satisfied with the start of the season.
Yeah. I mean, have you ever seen anything like it? The Brewers, I believe, in their 11 wins this year, have only given up 13 runs.
Oh, in the 11 wins?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
in the losses,
in 3 losses, they've given up 100 runs.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up more than 13 runs in 1 loss, right? But in their wins, they've given up 3 runs is like a huge barrage, like on Friday night. I mean, that's what's crazy. When the Brewers have won, their pitching has been so good this year.
And the pitching was the thing people were so concerned with. What the Brewers have been able to do with Freddie Peralta is the only one when you start a spring training that is in the rotation you expect to be in the rotation. You have a whole bunch of guys nobody knew the names of who are actually stepping up for the Brewers and helping save the season so far.
And at 11,
you were concerned. You said the Brewers at 500 by the end of May. You would be shocked.
I said, I will absolutely take it because of even though the schedule was easy, just with the pitchers banged up the way they are, it was scary to me. And
you should be jumping for joy right now. Then.
Well, they're 11-10. I mean, and if the Brewers can win today, home against the A's, which tickets available, get out there, Kyle Wallace.
Go ahead. It's Easter. I got to go get some food. I got a brunch to go to.
How about brunch at the ballpark? Brunch at American Family Field. 1:10 start to your brunch.
Ooh, man.
There's such good food. I went out to the alley in left field. They have food trucks now.
Yeah, I heard.
They have the 3rd Street Market Hall in right
They
field.
actually put the food trucks inside.
Yeah. They got the food trucks in left field on the loge level. I'm telling you, Kyle, it's a spot.
No, it is. It's great to go to. I can't wait till I go to more.
They were
Brewers
giving
games.
out football jerseys last night
So
on
the South
Saturday
Florida
night.
jersey. Yeah, and I also got the I got the Jackson Trio shirt they have.
We should take those. Yeah, you get all those, and then you don't even support them.
No, I support them. I tell people to go ahead to brewers.com/tickets.
Yeah, you do. No, I know you love your Brewers. I'm just getting on you a little bit. But today's a big game. Go to 12-10 before they go off on the road to a interesting road trip, right? Where you have San Francisco, who's been playing really well. You have the Cardinals, who've been playing really bad. And then you have the White Sox, who are even worse.
Yeah, they were bad.
So as you look at the end of April, the Brewers, if they win today to get to 12-10, I feel really good about that, right? Going into 4 against the Giants. If you can get 1 or 2 of those, then you're in good shape for the Cardinals and the White Sox to be over 500 at the end of April.
Win or draw every series.
Yep.
If you do that, you're okay. And I like where we're at. Young team.
Every
move they make seems to work.
The craziest thing, though, is the National League West. Because
a lot of good teams out that way.
I'm saying, like, the National League West makes it seem like there may be no wild card this year, right?
It goes west because I know Padres playing really well, Dodgers playing well as always as well. Diamondbacks are a good baseball
and
team.
the Giants have the same record pretty much as the Dodgers.
It's just NL West is really talented.
And then if you look at the East and you have the Mets and the Phillies, then there's probably not a wild card coming from the Central. So you kind of have to win the division.
Well, see, things will even out, especially as teams play each other.
I agree, but I don't know that.
You don't think 80? You still don't think 86 wins is something that gets you in a wild card? I mean, because it's so hard to have 3 teams, and especially with how good you believe the Dodgers are going to be if they're going to sustain. Right, that's a team that's going to win 90+ games. You're not going to have 3 teams with 90+ wins.
I think 3 teams will come from the West,
but not 90+ wins.
Yeah.
What?
Because the divisions you play, it's so much more of a balanced schedule. I feel like now. So I feel like you got 3 teams from the West, 2 teams from the East. And then it's going to be the Brewers and the Cubs fighting for 1 spot. That's my gut of what this comes down to this year.
Well,
And so I've criticized you in the past for being too hyper-focused on the Cubs and Craig Counsell.
I don't like Craig Counsell or the Cubs.
But I think this year that's probably accurate. I think it's 22 games in of a 162-game season, 140 games to go. I think scoreboard watching with the Cubs actually makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Because that is the other team, to me, from the division who is the biggest legitimate threat to what the Milwaukee Brewers have been, which is the dominant team in the National League Central.
Yeah, I mean, they have been we've made the playoffs 7 of the last 8 years.
Yeah, it's wild.
And won the division 3 back-to-back, 3 of the last 4?
Yeah, 3 of 5.
3 of 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Get out there. Oh, someone literally just texted me. If Kyle's worried about money, give him my info and he could use my tickets anytime.
Who is that?
I'm not putting people's stuff on TV.
Let me know. I mean, I wasn't worried about money. I was worried about time. I already know that.
No, you were asking me if I pay for my tickets.
No, I'm asking you.
Yeah,
you were.
Why? You were worried about my money?
No, no. I'm just saying you act. You sitting here acting like you just. You got to go out there and go do a lot of work, or somebody just slipping into your account. Yeah, somebody slipping into my account, and I could pop up at the Brewers game like that, but I am very, very busy. But Craig, I do want to ask you something.
Yes.
Because I'm a little itchy, and it's because I got a wax. And
you paid off your bet.
It wasn't even a bet. It was a paid off for, we got a wax because somebody donated $1,000 towards the MAC Fund to fight against childhood cancer. And so I
get waxed every 3 weeks.
You don't get waxed down there every 3 weeks.
I get waxed in my nose, my ears.
Your nose.
Yeah, my nose.
Wait, why don't you get waxed?
Yeah, my nose, my ears, and my unibrow.
Why do you have to get waxed?
When I get my hair cut, they groom me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they do my nose hairs. I don't know if it's because I'm older. I'm just hairy. They hit my nose hairs. They hit my ears.
Starting to look like your daddy, huh?
They hit all that. I'm looking like a baby's bottom because every 3 weeks they clean that stuff up.
Well, I mean, it just got me thinking about you have to pay off this food bet because I went and I did this. It was very, very, very painful. Well, it was pretty painful, and now the hair's growing back and
Yeah, and I lost our bet last year in picking football games where I have to go to a diner for 24 hours and I can only reduce it by an hour for every waffle or pancake
Who knows
I
what
eat.
the rules are? We talked about it in 2024. When are you going to pay this off?
I'm up for getting it scheduled. So
do I need to do this?
What?
Does the worst producer in the world need to be the one that gets this schedule? Because I can't. I got the wax schedule because I had to get this wax done before I went somewhere. You want me to get this schedule, Craig? You let me know what Friday you're available, and sometime this summer we'll make it. You get a little nervous, huh?
No.
You want that. You was expecting that summer body. You ain't gonna have that summer body.
I was
now.
trying to get down a little in weight, figuring I'd gain like 5 or 6 pounds when I do this. So I was hoping to get down a little bit, but that won't stop me from doing
Craig,
it.
You
I'm not.
gain 25 pounds. You'll be okay.
What'd you say?
You can still. Your frame. You got about 20 pounds you can put on.
From where I am?
Yeah.
No, I could lose
Craig,
like
you're
10
like
from.
$1.55, $1.60.
No, I'm more than that.
So $1.70.
167.
You could put on 20 pounds.
Saying
okay.
I should
187. Craig, you like 5'8".
No,
5'9"?
no, but I should be at 155.
What?
And then if I'm at
According
150,
to who?
that look it up.
Oh, Craig.
I mean,
don't listen to them. That's the people that got models out here being all skinny.
No.
Craig.
That's actual health. No. Kyle, Wisconsin has a lot of obesity. Let's not.
Now you saying I'm obese?
I'm not saying you're not obese. I haven't looked at your BMI. I don't know.
Craig.
What's your height and weight?
I'm 5'10", about one. I was 186 this morning.
I don't think you're obese.
No, I'm sexy.
I wouldn't say that.
I would.
Okay, well, you say
girl
that.
would too.
That's why she's your girl. That's how it should work. What's that? So on your show, do they know what the person looks like?
Who?
On 90 Day Fiancé? Do they see each other before?
Oh, yeah, see each other before.
Okay, I didn't know if that was one of those where they're like blind fiancé type things.
I couldn't do nothing like that.
No, you're not rocking one of those shows?
No, I don't. Personality is great, but I can't be waking up somebody ugly every day.
Hey, okay. That's your choice. I'm good with that. All right, we will talk about the Bucks, and we will get back to the carbless, handcrafted premium cocktails. Carbless Talking text line where Liz is more because we want to hear your thoughts. How do you feel about the Bucks coming off a very disappointing Game 1 of the Eastern Conference playoffs? We will talk to you about that as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Bev Anderson has a big idea she wants to share.
Bev has been here for 24 years.
Hi, Bev. We're anxious to hear your idea.
Kessler's is 45 years old this year. Monica, remember when your dad used to say in every radio ad, "I'm Richard Kessler, and I want to be your jeweler"?
I never got to hear that.
Yeah, and then Rick would say,
Kessler's Diamonds, inconveniently located on Appleton Avenue in Menominee Falls.
Inconveniently?
Richard said it was inconvenient for people to have to drive all the way to Menominee Falls, so he might as well admit it.
Bev, tell us your idea.
Richard said something else in almost every ad, and I think we should start saying it again because it's really important.
Tell us.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
I love that.
Fantastic idea, Bev.
Kessler's Diamonds.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location nearest you, visit Kessler'sDiamonds.com.
Are you dreaming about summer in your backyard yet? Landworks handles projects of all sizes, from a cozy pocket patio lush with greenery to a grand outdoor hosting space and everything in between. Locally owned and operated, Landworks prides themselves on exceptional customer service and a personal approach to all of your landscaping needs. The Landworks team of experts will work closely with you, making your property shine all year. Experience the Landworks difference. Visit landworkswisconsin.com. That's landworkswisconsin.com.
Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
With head coach Matt LaFleur's first season in the books, Green Bay's championship window was wide open. However, on draft night 2020, they found themselves in a situation similar to 2005 and decided to go bold.
With the 26th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Jordan Love, quarterback, Utah State.
Just like Rodgers after Brett Favre, Love would take over as the starting quarterback in his fourth NFL season, earning himself a huge deal as the face of the franchise following a breakout playoff performance.
Love zips it in there, and it's caught for the touchdown, Romeo Doubs. And the route is on in Dallas. Wow.
This Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Draft day is approaching, and whether you're watching every pick or just there for the party, Higher Love has everything you need to elevate your draft experience. As the best in the Midwest, Higher Love offers the largest selection of organic, clean green certified products at unbeatable value, making them the can't-miss top pick. Higher Love Menominee, an hour from Green Bay, right across the Wisconsin border. Find them at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and I've got to tell you about my go-to car wash, Tsunami Express. Get your ride looking its best and ride the wave at Tsunami Express Car Wash, Milwaukee's fan favorite for that perfect shine. Sign up for a monthly membership and enjoy unlimited washes for less than $1 a day. Skip the wait with the fast lane and take advantage of great perks. With locations in Midtown Milwaukee, Waukesha, Greenfield, Oak Creek, and Mount Pleasant, Tsunami Express has you covered. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Visit TsunamiExpress.com to learn more.
Whether tailgating or hosting at home, don't serve boring, bland food. As the official grill of the Green Bay Packers, Pit Boss brings the heat with a wide range of wood pellet grills, smokers, and hardwood pellet fuel. Reach another level of flavor that can't be achieved with a charcoal or gas grill, and it's beyond easy. Seriously, Pit Boss grills get cooking with just a few simple steps. Grill, smoke, bake, roast, braise, char grill, barbecue, and direct flame sear. The all-in-one Pit Boss does it all. Learn more today at pitboss-grills.com.
Wait. 3.
More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
In a minute. I told her when I get it, I'ma hit it. She told me that she wanted, I'll be there when I'm finished. Oh, girl, I'm on the way. Hey. I just left the club and I'm about to make a play. I'm on the way. Wait. She told me that she cooking. I said, gonna make a plate. I'm on the way.
Continuing with you on Sunday Karma.
I'm on the way.
Giannis had 5 turnovers and 1 assist yesterday.
Bad ratio.
In March, there was only one time he had more turnovers than assists in a game in the entire month of March. Didn't happen in April. Happened once in the month of February. Did happen a bunch of times in January, but I mean, that is an outlier. Not only for him to have more, but to have 5 times, 5-1 turnovers to assists. I think we're going to see different ball movement. I think we're going to see different people movement. And I think that is a big reason why the shooting will be better in game 2. Let's go to the Carbless handcrafted premium cocktails. Carbless talk and text line where less is more. It's 800-990-3776. You can call right now and talk to us, or you can text us 800-990-3776. Chef Ed says that game was an outlier. They won't shoot that bad from 3 next game. They win game 2. That is what Chef Ed says.
I agree. I think the Bucks are too good to get smoked back to back. I hope the Pacers enjoy game one.
Yep. When you look at the shooting, it was bad. But part of shooting is often what kind of rhythm and all that you're in. Bobby Portis had a few good in-rhythm shots that he didn't make, right? There weren't those shots for Taurean Prince. There weren't those shots, a bunch of those for Kyle Kuzma. So we'll see with better ball movement how it works. There were a bunch of possessions where Ryan Rollins, Brook Lopez, Giannis took shots where one or two people max touched the ball on the possession. I think we're going to see a lot better movement on that.
There was one time where Brook got the ball kind of like on a fast break where the Pacers hadn't really set up on defense, and he shot it deep, and it was a long rebound. They were able to run up to court and score quickly.
Yep.
I think Nimhard.
Ron in the Key says, Craig, he hit the station and show correct when he answered the phone on the air. He's overachieving as a producer today, for him at least.
Thank you for at least acknowledging that. Thank you. That's all I want.
I think he was trying to make fun of you.
No, I don't. Because see, the joke is sometimes on Kyle Bruston Nortman, I say truth sometimes, truth Nation.
Yes.
Because I mind sometimes.
Yep.
But this is all about Sunday karma, baby.
You have lowered the bar effectively when it comes to you as a producer. So as we get back into it, you can, as we said, 800-990-ESPN. It's 800-990-3776. You look at this series, and you're still feeling optimistic about game two.
Why would I not? As a Bucks fan, why would you not? Now, you could go the doom and gloom route and say, oh, well, the Milwaukee Bucks won the 8 games, and as soon as they had to play a real game against a better opponent, they lost. Yeah, you can do that, or you can look at it as, listen, the Bucks were on the road. They lost a road playoff game like most teams will. You know, every team ain't going to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves. Most teams are going to lose game one on the road in the playoffs because that's just what happens, right? Like, you'll get 2 or 3 teams
Bucks were bigger underdogs in game one than they are in game two.
Yeah, because you get adjusted.
I think that means no one saw anything to say like, oh, wow, this is a mismatch. I think there's also the question of Dame, right? And right now we don't know if Dame will be back for game 2 or game 3. The thought is he will be back for one of them.
I ain't worried. With or without Dame, I feel comfortable with this team. Listen, Kyle Kuzma, he is a competitor. He's not going to play as poorly as he did. You talked about Taurean Prince. He's going to probably play a bigger role. I fully expect the role players who finally got their feet wet, got settled in, I expect them to perform. That was the first time Kuzma played in the playoff game since he's been in L.A.
Now, would you expect that if Dame comes back, that Ryan Rollins is just out of the rotation completely? Because Kevin Porter Jr. stays in his same role off the bench and Dame moves into that starting role?
You know, that's a tough question because I feel like Ryan Rollins has showed us something. Like, I feel like in the moment where he was out, when Dame was out, Rollins stepped up and played well.
Yeah.
Like, he showed that he'll be on the roster, and he's a guy that we can count on to, try to play some defense, knock down open shots, which is the most important thing. So he'll get some minutes, obviously significant reduced minutes because he's not as electric as KPJ is being able to score.
But you're saying reduced minutes. To me, it seems like, can you really play all? You're not a lot of teams are playing 3 point guards, and they already have Gary Trent Jr. and AJ Green off the bench.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
it's going to be tough.
Right. I mean, you're not saying that you would put Rollins as the backup and not play KPJ at all?
No. KPJ has to play.
Right.
KPJ, he's the igniter, right? He's the guy that can change. He can get you on a 7-0 run when you're down by, 10 points or 6 points or whatever it is. He can ignite that run, right? You need a lightning rod like that, especially with this Milwaukee Bucks team. The thing they have always missed in the past was somebody who can come off the bench and get a bucket. KPJ can do that. He can give you some energy. He can give you some life. So you got to take him over a Ryan Rollins who can't do that at the same way.
And we said Tyrese Halliburton shot 3 of 13 yesterday, 0 of 7 from 3. So let's give Ryan Rollins some credit for that, right?
Yeah,
he and the rest of the Bucks did a good job on him from a shooting standpoint, but 12 assists, 1 turnover. Tyrese Halliburton still had that Pacers offense humming the way they want it to hum.
And we got to understand that Dame is not going to come back and all of a sudden play 38 minutes, right? Dame should to me, because basketball conditioning, and I know if he's been practicing and they're going to say, hey, he's healthy, but there's going to have to be some type of minutes restriction, right?
Don't know. I mean, I would think so. I would think whether it's a minutes restriction or just getting back in the flow. I know he has been working to stay at total game shape, even though he had no idea that he could be back. So I think he's going to be ready to go, but we have no idea what that actually means. How about this? This comes in from Don, who says the Bucks have to be 200% healthy roster to overcome any series. Too many heroes on the roster that really can't deliver. So fully,
man, we're so low on the Bucks.
Fully healthy roster, that's what this is, right? If Dame's back, this is a healthy team. We saw Jericho Sims back for the first time in 3 weeks, since he had surgery on his finger.
You're a big Jericho Sims guy, huh?
Huge. He's a really important player, I think. When you look at his ability defensively to be a big guy who could also switch on to people, like the defensive strategy that the Bucks play with Brook Lopez, they can play very different strategies with Jericho Sims. And I think being able to be that versatile is really valuable. Now, you need to have enough shooters around you because with Giannis and Jericho Sims on the court, you need to have guys who can knock down the jumper. Mm-hmm. But we've seen Dame and Jericho Sims have a nice little chemistry already. So, yeah, I'm big on Jericho Sims.
Yeah, okay. No, you talk about him a lot. I mean, he has been quite the surprise. The crazy thing is the under-the-radar moves, KPJ and Jericho Sims, actually have, I would say, made more of an impact on the roster than the bigger acquisition of Kyle Kuzma. And I'm not a Kyle Kuzma hater. I'm a supporter of Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah. Tony Cartagena from the great Thanalysis podcast chimes in and says, zero worries about the Bucks, but would like y'all opinion on the team traveling home and then back again for game 2.
Yeah, Craig, what you talked about it, you mentioned it before. You think it is more of a comfort thing? You put the Bucks in a better situation for game 2 on Tuesday?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's some times where you need like this bunker mentality and you're going to stay on the road and like all this stuff. But this is game 2. This is early in the series. This is a long process. And Mary J. Blige has the building on Monday night. So Bucks, so there's...
Name a Mary J. Blige song.
Family Affair?
I think that actually is one. Do you know how it goes?
No, I can't sing it right now.
I'm going down.
I mean, I'm happy enough if I pulled a Mary J. Blige song right there. I could be wrong, though, still. I'm not guaranteeing I'm right. Am I right?
Yes, you are right.
Oh!
So, but you don't know what it sounds like. You just know of the song.
No, I mean, if it starts, I could. Well, you bump with it when we come back.
Oh, but you said bump with it when we come back, or you want to just hear it?
No. When we come back, bump with it. Bump with it. And I won't. Maybe you could decide if I should pull up the lyrics and sing with it, or if I should just see how I could do without the lyrics.
I think we should save people Easter.
Okay.
And not he has risen, and we don't want him to unrise because of your voice.
Yep. I could understand. I can understand that. As I said, early in the series, I like it. Like, it's a 45-minute flight. Why wouldn't you come back and be able to be in your practice facility, be in your situation, be able to prepare? It's not like we're panicking and we need some.
In the regular season, they would have came home, right? Like if they had obviously this isn't real, but like in the regular season, if they play, well, I guess it's so different.
No, but if you were playing the same team and had, a full Sunday and Monday, 2 full days of no games.
A 12 o'clock game, so the game's
over
exactly. 3 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean,
home
it was 1 o'clock
6.
Eastern, but noon Central. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was an easy decision. If this was before a game, if this was in the NBA Finals and it was game 3 to game 4, obviously you're not going to have teams this close together unless it was like the Bucks and Timberwolves in the finals. That's the only time you'd have an East and West. I think that could be that close together geographically.
On the bingo board. One day it will happen.
But in that case, maybe you stay out there, because there's maybe even more distractions at home during the NBA Finals. But I like the decision. And like so many Bucks fans, I am optimistic going into game 2. We will talk about that. We will hear Mary J. Blige song. And we've been waiting all show for it. It is our Palermo's picks that we are going to be having when we continue. We'll get an update on our scoreboard from the first round. Kyle and I will register our picks. We'll make sure to get Strophy and Greg's picks as well. But first, I'll tell you about Gruber Law Offices. Yes, it is one call, that's all. And I love how people try to get cute around one call, that's all, to be like, oh, well, you can get more than one call. You can get the beauty of one call, that's all is you make that one call and your worries go away. You can make 100 calls to Gruber Law Offices, and they're going to call you as many times as it takes to get the job done and to get the job done right. But what one call that's all means is then your anxiety goes away. Your stress goes away. It's hard enough when you are in an accident. You're worried about if your car is totaled. You're worried about if your health is okay. The thing you don't have to worry about with Gruber Law Offices is that you are going to be taken care of, because Gruber Law Offices has helped tens of thousands of Wisconsinites in the last 30 plus years. Nationally recognized, locally and family operated. That's the beauty of Gruber Law Offices. So if you or a loved one is ever injured, remember, it's one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Offices.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so that you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
As clutch of a player to ever play basketball.
It's Dame time on Season 4 of Behind the Bucks on Bucks Plus.
This year I was like, I need to impose myself more on this team.
Explore Damian Lillard's journey to becoming a top 75 player in NBA history.
That's what really had me feeling like this is going to be great.
Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and H&R benefits consultant. Find Bucks Plus on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get podcasts.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Picks are made every year with the NFL Draft as each team dreams fearlessly. Let's rewind for an American Family Insurance Green Bay Dream Pick.
An annual storyline with the green and gold is whether or not a new wide receiver will be drafted in the first round. It's something that hasn't happened since 2002.
Green Bay Packers exercised the 20th pick in this draft to select Javon Walker, wide receiver from Florida State.
Javon Walker, the big athletic wideout from Florida State, was taken 20th overall by Green Bay. After promising rookie and sophomore seasons, Walker spent his third season in 2004 breaking out and earning a Pro Bowl nod.
Favre throws, passes, caught for a touchdown, Walker. And the Green Bay Packers are out in
This
front.
Green Bay Dream Pick is presented by American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance is always a great pick because their agents are there to protect your dreams. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Introducing the newest carbless flavor, Mango Vodka. Flavored with the essence of the ripest, freshest mangoes, carbless mango vodka will transport your taste buds to a sunny beach getaway. New flavor, still the same carbless crafted cocktails with 0 carbs, 0 sugars, and only 100 calories. Enjoy a refreshing vodka cocktail without the guilt. 4 packs of the new carbless mango vodka cocktail are available in stores near you. Find your bliss today at drinkcarbless.com and escape with every sip.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Hey, Gina, did you hear about the draft?
Wayne, there's no draft at Pella.
There's definitely a draft. Right, Wildy? Yeah, everybody's talking about it.
Pella windows are constructed of the highest quality. No drafts.
Yeah, sure. Okay. No drafts. Got it.
There's more than one draft?
No, but Pella should be everyone's number one pick because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades when you order by April 30th. Our talented designers and installers can match your unique home through dramatic sizes, custom colors, finishes, profiles, product types, and more, along with durable and distinguished details. All Pella products stand the test of time, which is why we confidently offer the best wood warranty in the industry.
So where is the draft?
Coon. Get no interest financing options or free glass upgrades at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 4/30/2025. It's that. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN.
Let's get it
Wisconsin
consecrated,
Wisconsin app.
consecrated, come to dance for. We don't need no fountains, send the fountains, want it's going to dance for me. And down up, dope, down to dope, and down it. Don't need no fountains,
Is this your favorite Mary J. Blige song?
It's the first one I can name by name. Is in the house tonight, and we're gonna run around.
Yeah, no, she's pretty classy.
Yeah.
Pretty classy.
And I think she is at Banker's Life, or what's it called? Field
Whatever
House.
it used to be Conseco Field.
Yeah.
Conseco still a thing?
No, I don't think so. Banker's Life, Lifers Bank.
Who cares? Banker's Life, Hanker's Life.
They need to be, if they were a partner with us. Is that your Shannon? No, we're working on it. Once they are, then we'll know their names. So I think that's why we knew the Bucks would play on Tuesday rather than Monday, and the Bucks are flying home, getting ready for Game 2. But it is time for us to talk about our Palermo's picks, which are brought to us by Palermo's Pizza. I had some people over.
It's that time.
Yes, it's finally here.
Craig makes his picks of the week.
You can bet the house on it.
Picks of the week on Sunday Karma with Craig Karmazin. Presented by Palermo's Pizza, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Can't wait to see what happens next.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
As I was saying, it was Surfer Boy Pizza last night at the house. Surfer Boy Pizza with the best crust in the business. You saw it on the Netflix show Stranger Things, and our guys from Palermo's Pizza somehow collabing with Stranger Things before their final season comes up. And you can get that Surfer Boy Pizza at your grocery store, as can you all of that other stuff, including Screamin' Sicilian, which we also had this week. We love Palermo's Pizza. It's just awesome to have a local company like that. Production here, jobs here, and deliciousness here. All the different brands of Palermo's Pizza. We appreciate them and so excited to continue to partner with Wisconsin's hometown pizza, Palermo's Pizza. All right, Kyle. It's time to get into this. We look at the standings, and we do see you and Greg Scalzo in first place with 2 points.
Oh, wow. 2 points, that's it?
Yeah, Strophy and I each have 1.
Wait, how many points did we get for picking correctly?
1.
Only pick one thing correct? 2 things correct?
Yeah, there are only 3 things to pick. And you pick.
Oh, well, who did I get wrong?
So, we didn't have the West matchups. So, you got the Heat and the Magic right.
Yeah.
And then you picked the Hawks to beat the Heat in the second game.
Oh, I did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Everyone did. You didn't,
why did I do that?
Because everyone did. No 10 seed has ever gone and advanced to the playoffs.
Oh, because the Hawks have been playing well.
Yeah, and the Hawks were at home and all that. So you and Scals have 2. Alex Strophy and I each have 1. That is your standings and the backdrop as we go into the other Eastern Conference matchups. Kyle, you have the Knicks in 5, who they needed a miraculous fourth quarter to turn that game around against the Pistons, and you have the Bucks in 6. What do you have in the LeBron battle of LeBron teams that LeBron is not on as the Cleveland Cavaliers host the Miami Heat?
Yeah.
Game 1 today.
I mean, it's going to be 4-1 Cavs.
All right, Cavs in 5. And then let's go the other Eastern Conference schedule matchup. which is the Celtics and the Magic.
It is going to be 4-1 Celtics.
Okay, so neither of those matchups do you see a sweep. You have what some call the gentleman sweep, both of those being 5-game series.
The gentleman.
I am going to take that Cavs series, and I mean the Heat have some talent. They have two legitimate players in Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo. I really do like the Cavs, and I think the Heat are going to play them tough, but I think 5 is right there. And I am going to. The Celtics always seem to lose game 1 or 2, but not this time. I'm going to say Celtics in 4. Celtics in 4 in the 2-7 matchup against the Orlando Magic. And the Magic look great in that play-in win against the Atlanta Hawks.
4-2, huh?
But no, 4-0.
Oh, 4-0.
4-0 is what I have the Celtics against the Orlando Magic. So that is the East. Now we head to the West, and this is where...
Strophe sent you some stuff in.
What? Strophe's already...
Strophe has Cavs in 5, Celtics in 4.
Cavs in 5 and Celtics in 4. That is the same as me.
Oh, wow. Losers again.
We had the same picks last round, and now he's once again matching my selections for this round. All right. So now we move...
Kissing up to you.
We move to the West, where the Oklahoma City Thunder take on the Memphis Grizzlies. The Thunder coming off what was a historic regular season, 68 wins. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looks to be the MVP. Kyle, what do you have there?
Dropping bombs, baby, like Ja Morant.
You bring the Grizzlies to win the series?
Thunder's in 6.
Thunder in 6?
Thunder in 6.
Okay. I'm going to say Thunder in 5. I wouldn't be surprised. I think this could even be Thunder in 4.
I can.
The Grizzlies have not beaten an above 500 team in the West in this whole back half of the season.
Well, maybe I'll make that them in 5.
Oh, what am I pitching? Okay,
you just.
I sold you.
You sold me. I like Ja Morant. I think it's unfair that Ja Morant can't do the little finger pointing grenade thing, but everybody else can.
Strophe goes Thunder in 4.
No way.
There, so a sweep over Ja and the Grizzlies. Let's go to what some find one of the more interesting series in the history of the NBA, because you have a 7 seed favored over a 2 seed. Yes, that is the Golden State Warriors, the older, smaller, less athletic team, favored over the 2-seeded Houston Rockets. We know, though, that we've seen that combination of Steph Curry and Draymond Green and Steve Kerr get it done before. We know we've seen Jimmy Butler lead teams that you thought had no chance to victories in big postseason spots. Kyle, what do you have? Golden State and the Rockets. A lot of people disrespecting the Rockets, who are the 2 seed in the really difficult Western Conference.
Come on now, Craig. You know what it is. Disrespect. It ain't disrespect. It's paying respect to Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy. I'm going with the Warriors in 6.
I am also going with the Warriors in 6.
Oh, wow. Disrespectful, huh, Craig?
Strophe says the Rockets in 7 there. Let's go to a matchup that started out, unlike many people thought, as the Timberwolves had a historic three-point shooting night, 21 of 42 from three-point range. Jaden McDaniels had a great game. Timberwolves rolled over the Lakers. They lead that series 1-0.
Yeah, I knew the Lakers were in trouble when I heard, was that real that Anthony Edwards and LeBron did a little back and forth? Was that real?
I don't know.
Well, anyways, it's not. You got Anthony Edwards. You got like the Timberwolves are a good basketball team. It's not like there's a
Timberwolves
8-game
beat
gap.
the Nuggets and go to the Western Conference Finals last year.
I think it's like a 3-win gap between the 2 seed and the 7 seed.
Yeah,
So
and this is the 3 and 6. All right, these teams were 1 game apart.
Yeah,
basically, if the T-Wolves had beaten the Bucks in that game, they were winning by 24. These teams would have the same record.
I'm going with Timberwolves in 7.
Wolves in 7, so that means as they did last year, they would have to win a game 7 on the road. Remember, they did that last year against the Nuggets, which was unbelievably impressive. I am going to go also 7, but I will go Lakers in 7. Give me Luka, who beat the Wolves last year in Game 7
Give
to
you
beat
Luka,
them again.
not LeBron.
Luka beat him in Game 7 last year. This is Luka's team now. That's how I think you got to look at it. Alex Strope says the T-Wolves in 6, closing that out at home in Game 6. Our final matchup, which is a matchup that is good enough to maybe be the Western Conference Finals this year. It was the best game yesterday. It's going to be an incredible game all series long as the Nuggets lead the Clippers 1-0. What do you think there?
I'm going with the Nuggets. Nuggets in 7.
I am going to go the Clippers in 6. I just thought so many things had to go right just for the Nuggets to pull that game out at home yesterday. Russell Westbrook making a big defensive play after making a big 3 in regulation. I guess it all was regulation. Made a huge 3. And I think the Clippers, I've heard Charles Barkley say it. I've heard other people say it. I think the Clippers are the second best team in the Western Conference right now.
Well, we're going to find out and see.
Yes. There you have it. Do we have Stropey's final selection there?
Clips in 6.
Clips in 6, following me once again. There you have it. Remember, 1 point for the team, 3 points for the games. We will track that all postseason long. That is our postseason contest. And Kyle, you want to give some love behind the glass?
Shout out to Xavier training up here. Shout out to you, Sunday Karma, and happy Easter, everybody.
All right. Stay healthy, stay together, survive today, thrive tomorrow, don't settle. You've been listening to Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin. Kyle, send us out.
Peace out.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com.
Membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC.
Sweetie, come here. Don't worry. I see a lot of patients with the exact same thing.
Ever since the ice skating rink went in next door?
Or is it more than
Dr. Clark's business is heating up.
So many patients need my help. How will I find time to see all of them?
They need to hire a scheduler, stat.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Get in the zone.
Hey, this is Holmes. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN.